What we're going to demonstrate here is the assembly and use of the Costco Pie Plate Container Undercut Gauge. You'll notice that the part number is here G33543. It's also in very small print on the side of the mounting for the gauge for the indicator. Just so that we can orient ourselves, you have a pin in the back of this fixture plate and 2 pins in the front where the indicator goes. I will show orientation for the container to be measured after we go through how to install the indicator. The indicator will be mounted like this into the base, and what you want to do, if you'll see this, there is a tip here that's flat. That tip needs to be all the way through, and we need to pull back just enough to where we can just see the tip and not the actual tang of the indicator sticking out here. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a 7/64 Allen wrench, and once we place this collar in place, we're going to tighten it down a little bit to hold this in place. It has 2 of these screws, and so we're just going to get these started, not tighten them, so we can still rotate. And again, I want to point out the fact that the knurled, or the tip itself, needs to be pulled back to where it is just the only thing showing past this edge. And then I'm going to go ahead and snug it a little bit. And now that it's in place, and I'm satisfied with that, I'm going to give it a final snug. You want to make sure this is snug, because any movement is going to create errors in the measurement. So we want to make sure that it's not moving. Okay, and we can see that this moves. Everything's in place. That's stable. And now we're going to put the handle on. I'm just going to screw this on or in until it is snug, finger tight. If we need to tighten it a little bit more, we'll get a 1/8 Allen wrench that we'll use to get that snug. It doesn't have to be super tight, it just needs to be secure. And you'll notice when that's down, it should go all the way down, all the way forward. And we'll demonstrate that in a moment. This needs to be in place. It takes a lot for it to be loose, but I want to make sure that we understand where that's properly installed, because if it got too loose, it could start making a difference in our measurements. This Teflon piece here needs to be touching the aluminum. So whenever we put this handle on, we're tightening that so that these 2 pieces touch. That's all the tighter it needs to be. Then whenever we actually press down, you can see whenever it was loose, we were getting 28 down. Now we're getting back to the 27 down that we were getting before. You want to make sure that this Teflon washer is making contact with the aluminum whenever you do that install. And if you see that backing out, you won't be able to detect that it's loose until it's almost coming off. So you want to make sure that it is tightened down to where the aluminum and the Teflon are making contact, as you see right now. And if you'll notice, we're back to the 27th down. I wanted to make sure. So this is the 0 block, and you're going to want to do this periodically, and you'll see it says 0 right on the block. It normally resides here in this corner. There's 2 holes to locate it. And I'm going to make a recommendation that we probably do something to secure this, like with a band or whatever, when it's not in use. But you take the 0 block, lift this handle up like this, take the 0 block, and we push the 0 block up against this edge. And you can see that that is down, and then we hit the 0 button. So 0. If we wanted to set that again, we can go like this. Momentary press. You see the P flashing. Momentary press. And we are now 0. Take the 0 block off. You'll see it goes back to its normal position. We're going to place the container down over the pins, over the pin that goes to the inside. These 2 pins go to the outside, and you want them to touch the undercut area. Kind of get it centered and clock it so that it is touching both pins. And press this down, and you press the send button. Gain seeker, you can see this is about 8 thousandths. And then we lift this back up and we rotate to corner number 2, keeping our reference on that back pin on the inside. Center these 2 pins so that we're making that contact to clock it so that it's centered. Press the handle down to pull it into position completely, and then we would send this measurement. That's 10.5 thou. Send that. Rotate to corner number 3 and press this down. And you want to let go of the container every time you do push your button to send, because if you're holding the container, if you'll take a look, I can change this measurement slightly by rotating that, by putting my hand on it. So take your hand off of the container when you get this final measurement when you hit the send button. And then the last corner, which is corner number 4, which is the one with the tab, we're doing our 4th corner and making sure that we're referenced to the inside that reference pin. We've got that, and we're locating on these 2 to making contact. And if you'll notice, on the top of this, there's a groove, and we want to clock this until it touches the groove, and we're up against both the pins. And when we push this down, we let go of the container, and then we push the button to send our measurement to gain seeker. Okay, I wanted to make sure that we did do a demonstration of why, if you don't hold the handle down when you take your measurement and let go of the container, it's going to change your measurements. So here I am clocked in the right position without the handle down. We're looking at 16 thou. And I'm going to push the handle down, but I'm not going to press it. And we're looking at about 18.5 thou. What I really should be doing is pushing this so that there's a little bit of pressure, because you can see I've jumped up to 27 thousandths. If I let go, I'm back down to 18.5. So you need to make sure that whoever's operating, when you press this down, you let go of the container and you press your button to send the data. If you don't have this pressed down with a nominal amount of low force just to get it in position, your measurement will change. You don't want that. So make sure that you're pressing down on this when you press the button and let go of the container. Okay, what we wanted to point out, if you are doing a repair or the tip gets damaged or worn or something is going on there, whenever you take the indicator out and everything, I want you to notice that on this little handle which helps us to set our reference, there's a groove that has been machined into it. It's very small. If you put a tip on it that has large knurls, it's going to interfere with this, and it's probably going to start wearing that. So you want, if you replace the tip for any reason, it needs to be a flat bottom tip, and you want to have no knurls or as few knurls, small knurls as possible. I would actually have a preference to have no knurls on the tip, so that when that comes down, there's actually clearance for this to move and there's no interference from this handle.